Our next round is called This Is the Answer. What is the question? On the board of 6 categories. Nathan, which category would you like?
Home news, please.
OK, your category is home news. The answer is trains, toilets and celebrities. What is the question?
Is it, if you're going to make a sex tape on public transport, what 3 things do you need?
What 3 flavours come through when you're tasting English wine?
Is it, according to the coalition agreement, what 3 things do the Lib Dems have responsibility for?
Is it name 3 things I've left my umbrella in?
Is it 3 things you're probably best off not to lick clean?
Is it, what is the name of Thomas the Tank Engine's no-holds-barred autobiography?
Is it what Peter Andre says when he's asked what his daily routine is?
Our trains, our toilets and our celebrities.
Is it what... Is it what...
High-pitched but not Australian anymore.
Our trains, our toilets, our celebrities.
I went to a voice coach to get rid of my Australian accent and I can't help thinking she's done something wrong.
I've been over in this country for a while, so I sometimes slip into both fucking accents. Our trains doesn't a six-pack. I don't miss my jeans. And then obviously the celebrities are making the money for the kids.
Does anyone have another answer?
What do we do better than Morocco?
OK, can we have correct answer?
Oh, I think I've got it.
It's not the build-up to the correct answer, but go on.
Is it name 3 things I've puked up on at the Edinburgh Festival?
Answer, Dara. I'll give you the real answer, Dara.
Will you give me the real answer?
What are the 3 main talking points on a saga holiday?
Is it 3 things that are full of shit?
On the Peter Andre thing. Where it makes the money for the children. That was the thing on me.
Is it?
No.
What 3 things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
If you can do that in a proper voice.
OK. What 3 things were most What 3 things were most complained about at the Queen's Jubilee?
Very good. Thank you very much, Chris. That was very... Yes, the question I was looking for was what aspects of the Queen's Jubilee celebration drew criticism from the press. Although the weekend was largely considered a success, there were complaints that the train system was unable to cope with the vast crowds, raising concerns about next month's Olympics. The lack of toilets provided for revellers was also criticised, alongside the BBC's celebrity-heavy coverage of the event. Did you watch the various events?
The BBC's coverage was sort of criticised for looking less like a royal occasion and more like the One Show, but that is what the Queen calls it. It's the One Show!
It was an excuse for a bit of an ease-up, though, wasn't it? You know, it's one of those weekends where you get so munted Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you phone up work saying you can't come in Tuesday, forgetting that's a bank holiday as well.
You know, 9 months from now, I bet you anything, Flotilla will be the most popular girl's name.
They tried to pick on the people who had to do a lot of fit. There was a woman in Tower Bridge interviewing the guy.
Or on it?
In the control room at Tower Bridge, just before the guy pressed the button to make the thing go whoop like that. And she said, "So, is it going to work?" And the guy looked at her in a kind of "Of course it's going to work." Stop trying to introduce a note of peril. And she tried to, "Are you sure it's going to work?" Like suddenly it's an action movie. "Oh Jesus, the bridge is stuck! Quick, I'm going to run down." And he's wedging things like, "Oh, she's coming, she's coming," as if there's a danger that the Queen's boat is going to come along, and then the Queen's running away. All the thrones get pushed back towards the back of the boat. Ah! Shit, to the back of the boat. Yes, it's going to work. Why were royal finances in the news this week?
Because the Queen blew all her money on a horse called Thug Hunter.
The Queen is at the centre of an expenses scandal, isn't she? Because she's been claiming Balmoral as her main residence and claiming the council tax back on Buckingham Palace.
She's still got... apparently she lost 6 million last year, had to spend 6 million, but she's still got 240 million in the bank. She's not going to turn up for the Christian speech next year wearing a shell suit going, it's been a tough year. Although, in fairness, they've taken her eyes, which is a bit...
You know, she does look like a cartoon character who's seen a sexy cartoon character and...
I think the Queen could print more money anyway. All she really needs is a profile shot and a photocopier. And,
They say the Queen spent £14,000 on a train journey from London to Liverpool. And that's what happens if you let an old-age pensioner use the self-service ticket machine.
But it's not, in fairness, it's not the Queen. It's the other, like Princess Beatrice. She's at university at Goldsmiths, and we're having to spend 300 grand on doing up her student digs. It's ridiculous. What kind of note is she going to leave on her fridge? Somebody had the quail's eggs. That's it.
She's got 300 grand getting her flat done up so she can go and study the history of ideas. I've got an idea for you, Beatrice. Get your fat arse down to B&Q.
The fact is, they're always getting on about whether the royal family is actually value for money, but at the end of the day, we do get a lot of tourists coming in. If you just go to Buckingham Palace on any day and you see the number of tourists gawking at it, I mean, I don't think you can still get the same numbers if they turfed out the royal family and turned it into a giant Lidl.
Do we need a royal family to attract American tourists? Have you seen those people? You could attract them with a fucking balloon on a stick.
I don't know about turning it into a big Lidl, but I think people would come from far and wide if the Queen was forced to work at Lidl.
Oh, you can imagine going up to the Queen and go, yeah, what, 4 packets of already broken biscuits, yeah? Do people still actually buy already broken biscuits?
Dara's hardly going to know the answer, is he?
Let's be honest, the new slim Dara doesn't know anything about biscuits. Look at him.
I didn't even recognise the word biscuit.
He looks like a Russian bodyguard.
No actual...
Oh, you look good. I think we should have started the show with you just in front of the camera, just doing a gun show like that. You like that, nation? They call me Vladimir. He looks like a Russian bodyguard, doesn't he?
I don't know if you realise the story behind this, but Dara's lost weight because he's been on the Irish version of I'm a Celebrity, which is set during the potato famine.
Sorry. How much weight?
We were all a bit worried when we heard about your weight loss. We were all a bit worried that you had AIDS.
Yeah, that was true.
No, we were genuinely worried because none of us wore a condom.
In fact, actually, we'll chat about that later.
How much weight have you lost, actually?
Who, me? Since I've been on here about 2 stone.
I'm not Colleen Nolan. This isn't Loose Women. I'm not discussing weight loss on the show. You know? Yes, the question I was looking for was, from what approximate distance did a photographer take pictures of the Duchess of Cambridge sunbathing topless? This is the news that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge have taken legal action against French magazine Closer, which has printed topless photographs of Kate. It's called, I don't know, the French call it Closer for some reason. There's a French woman working the show, and I'm going, sure, it's Closet. She goes, no, Closer. A French court has blocked future publication of the pictures in France, but they've already been published in Italy and Ireland.
There's loads of royals who've been snapped naked, haven't they? Obviously Harry, you know, now Kate, then we had Andrew before that, Charles before that, Countess of Wessex. I mean, there have been, in fact, so many of them, I think they should persuade a few more of them to do it, and then they could release a charity calendar.
The thing is, isn't it? It is terrible, it's unjustifiable, it's immoral, but I quite want to see the pictures.
Are you saying you haven't seen them yet?
I haven't. I've seen fuzzy versions of them on the...
I think they're all fuzzy. The pictures were taken from the Hubble telescope.
From the Hubble telescope.
What I found intriguing was I think, I don't know what everyone was, I was certainly waiting for the next time she appeared in public to see if she would acknowledge what had happened to the cameras. And she didn't. She just did the same smile that she always does. Because if someone had photographed my meat and 2 veg, I probably would have come out and gone...
I think
she's annoyed because, and every woman's had this on holiday, because I've looked at the photos, and they're at that awkward angle. When you're topless, you've got to stay at a certain position or it's not attractive, and she's in that reaching for the sun cream position. That's what she's annoyed about. You know, we've all got those photos, like my Uncle Terry, where he popped out of his shorts.
But do you think...
I didn't see that edition of Closer. Joe's Uncle Terry pops out of the shops and his shorts.
Do you think she's genuinely worried about it, though? Don't you think there's just one tiny... Well, do you think there's just one tiny bit of her that's thinking, yeah, where's my sister's arse now, then, eh?
Which publications have printed the photographs?
Closer.
The Irish Daily Star, because she's not your future queen.
Well, that was the Irish Daily Star thing. There's an Italian magazine called Key and the Irish Daily Star both publish it, but they give very different excuses, right? The Italian excuse is very... But they are young and they are beautiful and they are in love. And the Irish Daily Star was, she's not our queen.
Yeah.
But when they publish photos like that, and they're always photos like that, not of the royals, but they're, you know, kind of topless photos in magazines shot with a long lens, they are always of, there's kissing and cuddling in the pool, and then they're putting sun cream on each other. And these are meant to be sexy, erotic. There's nothing less erotic than putting sun cream on your partner's back, is there? It's just something you have to do. And the reason you have to do it is because you can't put sun cream on your own back, so you've got to reach a deal with the person who's going to do it. That's all, isn't it? That's all it is.
I was photographed on a holidays once by Papt. Yeah, I was taking a holiday and I was doing exactly that. And the pictures, if you saw them, they were quite shocking. But and it was an intrusion.
That wasn't on holiday, was it, Dara?
No, there was no holiday.
It was at our house, wasn't it, Dara?
Where do we get
the least erotic thing I've ever seen?
Where does a guy in the office find the source photograph?
I believe he has your laptop.
Yes. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the royal family.
Well, how you doing? How you doing? Well, what can I tell you? Well, the Democrats had a choice between a woman and a black man, and they went for the black man. Can you believe it? Well, I can't really believe that was the choice. Yes, well, how charming. Does anybody know who that was? Was that Judith Chalmers? Bloody dreadful woman. Oh, hello, darling. Eyebrows still black, I see. When they go white, we'll know we're all in the shit. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God.
Terribly sorry, I dropped my Oyster card. Anyway, can't wait. I've got to see the Queen, I think.
Oh, God, I hate these things. Oh, God. So tedious. I'd much rather be doing something else, like shooting someone or... Oh, hang on. No, wait a minute. This is the guy I'm waiting for. I'm absolutely starving. I'll have 2 lamb sanders and a pressure iron. Then hurry up about it. Philip, please. That is the President of India. Yes, that's the restaurant we always go to. These are the leaders of the free world. Please try not to say anything offensive. Oh, I never do. What do you mean? Oh, my God, there are thousands of them. It's like bloody Dover. You can't come here. We haven't got any room. We're a tiny country. What are you thinking of? Go... Oh, hello. Are you Korean? Yes. I love your culture. Yes. Don't worry, I've locked up the corgis.
Well done, Hugh. Here's a picture from the Jubilee. What's going on here?
Is the Queen saying, so be it, young Skywalker, now die?
Is she saying, I can see you looking, Elton. It's my tiara. You could not borrow it. Tom Jones looks like he's trying to hypnotise the Queen. Either that or he's being goosed by Paul McCartney. What's going on?
I think she's probably saying, oh, dear, I seem to be at Madame Tussauds.
Is she saying... Now, you do all have the number for Dignitas, don't you?
Is she saying, I've got major beef with you, Richard? I've got major beef with you, Richard.
Hang on, is she Peter Andre?
trains. Toilets. Don't compare me to the Queen. I've got major beef with you, Richard. You put the Lord's Prayer to Auld Lang Syne again, I'll cut your face.
It does look like it could be an advert. Sort of you look at McCartney and Tom Jones, it looks like a before and after for Just for Men, doesn't it?
Here's the Queen saying, "Go on, pull my finger."
All the American actors already said happy birthday to her. Was that it was, you know?
Yeah.
Grace Jones, who had a hula hoop for the last 3 years, randomly walks out hula hooping, slave to the rhythm. That was the weirdest thing. I genuinely thought, am I the only one seeing this? Why? Slave to the rhythm.
It wasn't.
Who booked Grace Jones?
She wasn't hula hooping. She'd been imprisoned by the elders of Krypton.
Was it not a bit strange that they built that really elaborate, beautiful rowboat called, what's it called, the Gloriana?
Gloriana, my mate built that.
For the Queen, and yet... Was it just me and thought it's a bit weird that she's not on it? Because the only person who was on it was Claire Balding, as far as... Essentially, there's thousands of foreign tourists who think that Claire Balding is the Queen.
I saw the British Queen the other day. Looks like she can handle herself in a pub fight.
In this round, one player takes the role of a famous person making a speech, while the other says what they really mean. So, Rory, you are Prince Charles giving a speech on the occasion of his mother's birthday. Hugh, tell us what he's really saying. Take it away.
Hello, Mummy. Gosh, you look so well.
Blast.
A little birdie tells me...
It's all over the newspapers.
Today is a very special day.
You're still alive.
I'm sure I speak for the rest of the family when I say... It's very good.
Thank you very much.
What do you do?
I make organic biscuits.
Oh, wonderful. Marvellous.
In other royal news, who's been found in a car park in Leicester?
Stan Collymore.
This is Richard III, isn't it?
It is Richard III, yes.
Do you know about Richard III?
I know a little bit about Richard III, yes.
Well,
Although my image of Richard III would be kind of odd, because we weren't taught a lot of that in school, is of the Shakespeare...
So he was
I think that was...
Skywalker! Your friends cannot save you now!
Oh, the Death Star will be quite operational once your friends arrive.
You get a different version. You get a different version to us.
Richard III was the man who lost the War of the Roses to Alan Titchmarsh. And he died at the Battle of Bosworth, and his remains have been found under a car park in Leicester, which is great, but they don't know what to do with him because he's lost his ticket and he's got £6 grand in back payments. He's got to pay another 50 because he's buried across 2 spaces.
No, it's not a big deal either, is it? They found him in...
It's not a big deal.
They found Richard... It's not a big deal. They find Prince Harry in a skip most weeks.
It's an amazing addition to Leicester's Hall of Fame. They've got Engelbert Humperdinck, Shawaddy Waddy, Rusty Lee, and now Richard III. It's the worst variety show of all.
All emceed by Gary Lineker.
Please tell me that he comes on at the end.
I'm suspicious it is Richard III, but firstly because, you know, they didn't have car parks in the olden days, and also because they found the bones in a small cardboard box labelled Southern Fried Chicken.
Well, I think that's the reason.
Chickens do have a curvature of the spine.
Yes,
yeah,
they do.
Wings. It is, yes.
And people were a lot smaller then, so...
They were.
They weren't the size of a chicken.
That's the way I have found Richard III. Just a chicken carcass. Yeah, look. We didn't have to dig. One of the cars pulled out and it was just here. It was just sitting there.
They think he killed the Princess in the Tower. They're not quite sure, but they think it was with a candlestick or the lead piping. That's one thing. And they think that now he was probably quite a good king, in fact. Don't they? He also said a horse, a kingdom for a horse.
I think he should be saying, the Force! My empire for the Force! Skywalker! That is the greatest thing of everything in the world. Like,
Oh, the Death Star will be quite operational.
There's a pit-beating monkey. This.
Yeah.
I
have
given...
given...
like a Chinese Death Star. This Death Star a lot cheaper than the other Death Star. But it's not faster. You cross my palm with a lightsaber. I tell you fortune.
We will deliver to Endor. Endor outside our range.
You have to collect. I put down the force field so you can get in it?
I'm looking forward to the worldwide distribution of this episode.
We were merely doing impressions of one another's impressions.
Yes. I was quite shocked to see the picture of him, because I read today he's only 32. He looks like Doc Cotton.
To be fair to him now, that's not actually a picture of him, because they couldn't take pictures at the time. That's probably a painting or something.
Really? Paparazzi back then. If his wife was showing her boobs on a balcony, would somebody have got like a tapestry cushion and stuff?
If you've already got the cushion, it's relatively easy just to sew a nipple on the top, and there you go. OK, the next topic is the royals. Frankie.
I like the tour where Prince Charles went to India with Camilla this year, like proper rural India as well. You know that half the people that saw them were going, Diana's let herself go. Apparently they couldn't send Prince Harry to Iraq because they couldn't afford the resources required to start developing Factor 60,000 sunblock. Poor old Harry had his uniform packed. Was a 1941 SS Stormtrooper. in many ways, Harry's just a typical British squaddy, isn't he? In that he has absolutely no idea who his real father is.
Why was this man in the news recently?
Oh, it's what's happened in Vegas, not staying in Vegas.
Yes, very much so, yeah. Why is that?
Because he was playing strip billiards and we all found out.
Yes.
People were saying, though, that he was a gentleman because in the photos he had his hands over the breasts of the woman. Yeah. And you're thinking, obviously, the definition of gentleman has changed a bit since I was born.
It's this bullshit that we get sold the whole time. Oh, he's just like us. They're just like us, the royal family. They're not. They're not just like us. You have never accidentally ended up in a part of your house you've never been in before. They are not like us.
The kitchen.
Apparently, though...
1970s joke.
The troops in Afghanistan, they've all come out in support, haven't they?
Yeah.
By taking photos of themselves, you know, stripped completely naked.
Yeah.
And it's basically carry on up the Khyber all over again, isn't it?
These photos are actually, they were taken before the Harry thing. This is just down to government cutbacks.
It says they're doing it in support of Harry. They're not, are they? They're taunting him. They're stripping naked in the Afghan sun going, try it over here, ginger lad. 2 minutes naked out there, he'd look like a baby bell.
Yes, there are websites of squaddies and squaddies' families who have supported Prince Harry. Decided to, I'm not saying that I'm not much of a royalist, but it's not. I still think there's an important principle here that if a man wants to be naked at a party, then we should support that as much as we can. That's why I published this particular photograph. Proud to do that.
Interesting that you got an All Blacks tattoo there.
Yeah, it is actually.
You now marry.
I briefly played for the All Blacks before that photo was poorly doctored. Also, if you think my tattoos are bad, you should see Andy's tattoos. Andy's tattoos are terrible. He really has. Hugh, we're not saying that you're, but I thought you were generous to do it amidst foliage, which I thought was disgraceful. The growing sense of inevitability, Chris must now realise that his is possibly the most erotic of all.
Again, that is real. Well, and that has confirmed many people's suspicions that if you see me naked, there is a pussy.
OK, here we go. The first subject is things you didn't hear at the Queen's Jubilee.
And look at that, a sea of red, white and blue as thousands of hyperactive children vomit up the icing from the Jubilee.
You can't help thinking that nationalism may have gone a little too far. The flotilla is now anchored off France, ready to invade Calais.
And we hear recently that the Queen's dogs have done a complete overhaul of the palace plumbing system. Mercifully, they're corgi registered.
Come in, number 46. Your time is up.
And now's our chance to join in lustily with the second verse of the national anthem. On to be served to... Ma, the Queen...
Yes, Doc. So if I say I've got a bladder infection, will it work? Oh, excellent. I can't stand Gabby Barlow.
Harry, when I told you to put on your uniform, I didn't mean that one.
And it's amazing to think, isn't it? She is 86 years old. Please give it up one more time. Annie Lennox.
And this is a real Jubilee mug. A man who's paid £25 for a Jubilee mug.
Awful scenes before the concert as a rather embarrassing fat man has jumped onto the stage. He's pulling faces and mouthing to Robbie Williams records. Oh.
And the Queen places the diamond in the stand, lighting the final Jubilee beacon. Now she enters the Crystal Dome and tries to collect as many golden coupons as she can.
And the boat spread out over the vast space of the Thames, like thoughts in Fern Cotton's head.
There she is, Her Majesty the Queen. Where else could you see an 86-year-old standing for hours just waiting to be seen? Well, any NHS hospital.
And as his eyes gradually became accustomed to the shadowy darkness, he realised he was not alone in that room. Who is it?